Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany, and in today's video I'm going to do a get ready with me style video using all Black owned beauty brand cosmetics. I have some in my collection that are brand new to me with a couple of new brands, as well as some items that I've had in my collection for a few years now that I absolutely love and want to share with you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started now, and I do not have a primer. I looked at a few of them, but I didn't buy one because I have plenty of primers already in my collection, and the foundation I'm using is the Juvia's Place Stick Foundation in the shade Nicaragua, and this is a very full coverage foundation. It's very creamy, and with my skincare that I'm using right now, I don't feel like I need one, so let's just hop right in, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this straight on my face. As you can see, it's very, very thick. So I'm just going to put a little bit under here. And then I like to use a brush to blend this all out. It blends out beautifully with a brush, and it maintains that thick, full coverage. I also did not purchase a concealer specifically for this video, but I do have a Juvia's Place I Am Magic concealer on its way to me. It went on sale, and I am almost done with this Juvia's Place concealer and really wanted to have a facial product from them in my stash. So I went ahead and I'm going to try that out probably the next week or so after it gets here. As you can see, it blends out beautifully. It is very, very full coverage. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. It's very full coverage. You may or may not have seen all of the redness and blemishes on my skin currently, but that's where we are. It's very, very full coverage. So on the places where I want a little bit extra coverage, especially this spot on the side and on my chin, I'm just going to dab a little bit on my fingertip of that creamy concealer and just kind of melt it into my skin where I want a little bit extra coverage. Right here. Got some maskne spots and some awesome dry patches. Fun times. All right, and since I'm not going to be using a concealer, I'm just going to make sure I've got enough coverage, but not too much around my eyes. I do like using my fingertip for this to help kind of melt all of that into the skin after I've gone over with a brush. Now, I did order from Beauty Bakerie the, what's it called? It's a 3-piece kit, the Cake to Go. And it came with this beauty sponge and the baking powder that I'm going to be using. Oh, I should probably get that out of the packaging. It is the cutest packaging. It comes in this little baggie with the ingredients like nutrition facts on the side. It is just the cutest. Let me pull that out. Goodness. Okay. And it's a little jar like this. And I'm working on my Peach Perfect powder right now. But since I am getting a little bit low there and I wanted to have something in my stash, this one's a little bit different. It's a translucent powder in oat. It's got a little bit of a sifter on the one side. And I'm just going to take my damp sponge. It's a nice size. It feels a little squishier than a beauty blender, but not as dense as a Real Techniques. So I'm just going to take this powder and I'm going to press it a little bit under the eyes where I want a little more full coverage, and I want this foundation to set down because this stick foundation does not completely dry down. It doesn't set. It stays pretty creamy. So I want to make sure that my foundation sets, especially around my nose and on my chin, where it normally would break up first. So I'm just going to powder this a little bit heavier here to kind of lock in that coverage and make sure it doesn't go slipping around on me. Do a little bit on my forehead here too. Mostly just want all this to stay covered here. Okay. So now I have, instead of doing a contour, I have this bronzer by Mented Cosmetics in the shade Beach Bum. And when I ordered it from Ulta, it looked a little bit different than what I got. As you'll see in just a second, it's a very, very warm toned bronzer. And it looked a little cooler on the Ulta website, but it's definitely more orange. It does not look that way on the website. So it's kind of warm, and Samantha March raved about it. I believe it was Samantha March. So I wanted to try it, and let me find my, where's my brush? Oh, here's my brush. Okay. So since it is a warmer bronzer, I want to go in with a lighter hand, and I'm just going to take my contour brush, and I'm just going to very lightly put that over here on the side. I feel like my freckle, this really highlights my freckles, which I don't mind. But you can see that it's very orange, it's very warm. But I'm going to go over that to kind of calm it down here in just a minute with my foundation brush to kind of even it out just a little bit, because this is just for warmth. This is not going to be contouring. This is just a little warmth. And I do want to bring this over the bridge of my nose and across my cheeks, because that will give it more of a sunshine look than a contoured look. I think this bronzer is probably not right for me right now, but I think in the summertime it will be really lovely. Just going over that where my normal freckles are. Just give a little warmth. It looks very sun-kissed. I'm going to take that up almost to my eyes. And then just a little bit on my forehead to warm up my forehead. Not to contour it, but to warm it up. Very lightly. I'm not going for orange mask casting here. Say just a little bit of warmth, definitely more on my face down here than on my forehead. So it's a nice bronzer. It's not the shade that I would typically use, but I look forward to using it again and seeing if it's more appropriate for me in the summertime. So I'm just going to take my foundation brush and blend just a little bit over here on the side. See how it takes that under, it kind of pushes it underneath, it melts it a little bit with the foundation a little more without covering it. It just kind of blends it in a little bit better. Great. So now for blush today, I'm going to be using my Juvia's Place The Festival palette, and these pans are huge and I love it because I can fit my blush brush in there really nicely. And I think I'm going to take a combination of this peach color and this pink color, and just going to take this is a Luxie blush brush, and very little pigment. These are very pigmented shadows, so I'm just going to take the littlest bit and I'm going to lightly pat that color onto my cheeks. As you can see, just a little bit there, and then I'm going to do the other side just a little bit, and start in very lightly and then blend in. Must not have grabbed as much as I thought I did there. There we go. Just to give a little bit of color there. And then I'm going to go in with that hot pink in the middle. And even though it is very pigmented, oh, I don't want that there. It is very pigmented, as you can see. It's just a light tap. I'm going to shake some of that off of there. And then I'm not even touching my skin. I'm making the motions before I even touch the skin. That way I blend it in there. Blending it up into my temples. And just dragging whatever is left over onto my nose to And see, look how lovely it layers over top of that beach bum there. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. Whoops, touched down a little too early. But that's fine, because again, I can go over anything I need to with my foundation brush to tone down and extra blend the pigment. So while it looks a little bit heavy now, just go over and tap. I'm just tapping, not erasing, but it is blending that into just a little bit. Okay, now before I go any further, I'm going to start with my eyebrows. Now, I really wanted to try this next brand, and I wanted to try their foundation because I've heard that it's amazing, but they have been out of my shade, so I haven't been able to buy it. And since I wasn't at the time going to buy a concealer, they were out of my shade of that anyway. So I wanted to try the Uoma Beauty, and all they had, I love brow products, and so I went ahead and I bought this kit, but they only had it in the shade 2, which is very light. It's blonde, and they've been out of the darker shades for a while. I think when I checked this morning, they had some back in stock, but not exactly the items that I wanted. And I thought, you know what, I'll try these lighter shades. That way I can try the formula. Maybe the lighter shade will add some depth to my brows, because right now I am an Anastasia Beverly Hills Ebony gal. So this is very dark. It's also, I use this, and I use Chocolate Mousse for my brows by Morphe, or I use Dark Brown by e.l.f. Cosmetics for my brows. So this shade in 02 is very light, and I'm going to show you in a minute. So I got the 3-piece set, and I think they're still available. They have shade 1 and shade 2. Shade 1 I knew was going to be way too light, so I went with shade 2, and it comes with the baby hair, just a micro tip pencil. It comes with the Fro to Go, which is a triangle shaped pencil, and the Brow Fro Blowout, which is a fiber gel, and I'm going to use that last. So I want to show you what I mean by it is very light, and I am going to have to cheat a little bit with this and mix in, bring in some of my dip brow to kind of help fill in, because as you can see right here, I have a scar on my brows, and this is not going to cover it, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'll go ahead and I'll start. I'm not going to show you both of my brows because my brows take a while to do. So I'm just going to show you what I mean by this being a little too light. I'll go ahead and go off camera and do the rest of my brows, come back, finish with the brow gel, and then I'll show you what I mean. But I start off my brow routine by the middle, starting with a line underneath here, and it's giving me a very nice line so far, but it's definitely not as dark as I like it to be. See, I'll bring it out just a little bit so you can see what I mean by it being very blonde. And it is not going to fill in, look here, I'll try. It's not, that does nothing, not a thing for this scar here, but it does give me a nice little outline to start with, and I can start pulling this shape up top, but even here it's still, whew, working hard to give me something. All right, but it's enough to get me started under here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera and do my brows real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I used my Anastasia Dipbrow, and I did use, let's grab some of that baby hair so that I can show you how I might be able to add a little bit of depth here, so it's not so dark here. And then I'll just add a little bit to lighten up the tail end here. But it's very, very blonde. It does add some nice dimension. And the formula is nice. So I'm just going to keep my eyes open for my shades to come back in stock. And I would have loved to have been able to grab this 3-piece kit in my shade, but that's okay. So now I'm going to go in with the Blowout, and I'm going to show you what I mean by it being very light. So as you can see, this is very, very blonde, but that's okay. Let's do some magic here. It's got a little bit of fibers in it, and it does look like it's lightening my brows just a tad. This feels so weird. These don't feel like my brows. I'm so used to seeing them much darker. But I don't dislike it. And again, I mean, look how evenly it's coating my brow hairs. I feel like it looks it's a really good formula. So I'm really excited to try my shade. So now, because I don't have concealer, I'm going to use my foundation stick, and I'm going to grab a small concealer pencil, if I can find it. I'm just going to grab a small concealer brush, and I'm just going to take like this and clean up my brows. Just to lighten up this side. This brow is generally heavier than the other side. I'm going to clean up the top here where I had a little bit of a mess. And cleaning up in here. Oops, sorry, I'm still learning that. I've got my camera in a little bit of a different place today, so. There we go. I'm happy-ish with that. So let's go ahead and move on. All right, so I've got all my facial stuff done. So let's go ahead and move on to eyes. I do not have an eye primer because I was going to buy the Fenty one with the eyeliner, but I did not. So I just have my whatever leftover baking flour powder on my blender here and under the eyes a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with some eyeshadow. So I want to do a really colorful look, and I'm going to start with my Festival palette, and I'm going to take this berry shade here in the middle, and I have a fluffy brush that I'm just going to take and tap in and put into my crease. Now this is not what you would expect looking into the pan. It's very, very bright, and I'm going to show you what I mean in just a minute. So I'm just starting off in my crease. This is very pigmented, but it blends out beautifully. And I want to show you something here in just a moment. I'm going to do one eye on camera and one eye off. I'm going to attempt that for the first time. So I'm just grabbing my pigment here, and I want you to take a look at this. This color blends out to this. So if you have this palette or are planning to purchase this palette, don't be alarmed. Sometimes swatches can be deceiving, and sometimes things in the pan can be a little bit deceiving. So definitely, if you can, swatch and play and look at reviews. So I'm just taking this pink into the inner corner here, all the way out. And I want to do something a little bit dramatic today. My friends have already seen this look, and I wasn't going to do it again. But here I am because I wanted to show how easy it is. So this is just the one shadow. Let me see if I can move a little bit closer here. It's just one right here into the crease, and I'm dragging it out a little bit. And then what I want to do is I'm going to take a flat brush right here, and I'm going to spray it and pop it into, whoops, oh my goodness. You know what, I'm going to spray it into the cap and get the liquid out of the cap because it's doing something a little weird today. So I'm just dipping it into here and then like pushing my brush at an angle to get off any excess moisture so it's not too much. And then I'm going to go into this blue shade here and pick up some pigment and basically create a liquid eyeshadow to pop on my lid. So what I'm going to do when I've got all that pigment that I want, I'm just going to come onto the lid here and I'm going to start making a sort of cut crease. It's a fake cut crease. I'm just going to kind of stamp my line here. And this edge is going to turn purple, but that's okay. Just going to play in some color and have some fun. I do have to go to the pet store later, but that's okay. See, so I'm going to drag and stamp this blue on my lid. Just going to pick up a little bit more. And I'm concentrating this color on my lid here where there is no pink. And then I'm tapping the rest up to this little bit of a crease that I have started to make. Just going to grab some more. And if I feel like my brush is starting to get too dry, I'll go ahead and grab another spritz or another dip into the well that I've made. This is so sparkly and shimmery. It's such a beautiful blue. And I do want this harsh crease there because I'm just going to do something a little bit more fun today. All right. Just going to keep dragging until I'm happy with that and patting, and then I'll take my fingertip and put it in the pan. So I've got some on my fingertip here. Just kind of use that dry shadow from my fingertip to kind of seal that in place. Here we go. Perfect. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take my Colored Raine Cosmetics, the Vivid Pigments palette here, and I'm going to use from here the color Bossed Up, and I'm going to take that on a small pencil brush. I take the shade Bossed Up. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to put that out here in the corner a little bit and down. I just kind of want to blend some of this magenta color with this purple here and bring that into the blue just a little bit where they've started to blend. And then I'm going to take my eyeliner before I go any further because I like to do my eyeliner first before I do my lower lash line. That way I don't feel like I don't know, I just have ways that I like to do things. So for my eyeliner today, it is the only product that I'm going to be using that is not from a Black-owned beauty brand. It is the Colourpop Cream Gel Eyeliner in the shade Rosette. And I couldn't find a gel eyeliner from a Black-owned brand that I was looking for, but I did find, or that wasn't a black color or a brown, because I have plenty of those in my collection. So Colourpop did a special collection to help raise money, and all of the profits went to the Make It Black campaign. So I wanted to help contribute to that as well as get an eyeliner. So I'm going to put my eyeliner on. They had Rosette and they had Boots, which I believe are both still available. You can still buy items from the Make It Black Foundation, and you should be able to still donate directly to, oh, I'm not doing both eyes today, I'm just doing one at a time, to the foundation. Okay, so I've got that rose gold in my waterline. Now I'm going to go back into my Vivid Pigments palette, and oh, if I can get it open, what is going on today? So I used the shade Bossed Up out here, and then I'm going to take that lighter color Cute, and I'm just going to take it on a brush, on a corner of a brush like I do, and drag that in here towards the middle. I can see there's some blue fallout there, but that's okay. Okay. This is so weird for me not to go back and forth between my eyes and just do one at a time. Okay, so now for the middle of my eye, or for the inner corner rather, I'm going to be taking my Juvia's Place The Violets palette, and I'm going to be using this shade right down here, And I'm going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to be putting that color in the inner corner as well as dragging it up to blend in with some of this pink to kind of wrap around that blue. So I'm just going to grab that here in the inner corner and not drop my things. I have 5 Juvia's Place palettes, and I have a couple of colored Raine palettes, and I was thinking about doing a palette bingo with some of my Juvia's Place palettes. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. I do have the Zulu and the Tribe pulled for my March-April Shopped My Stash, so I'm going to definitely be using those. And see, I'm just pulling this purple down over Bossed Up and Cute and wrapping it around into this pink up here to kind of give a nice little, I don't know, just kind of a fun little color wrap there around that blue. I like it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Cutie palette. No, I'm sorry. This is the Lovelies palette by Colored Raine. And I'm going to be taking this shade down here, this pure shade, on a brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and soften up this pink edge here. Because again, on camera it looks a lot harsher than it is in real life. But that's okay. I'm learning that that's part of being on YouTube, is things look a little bit different on the camera than they do in the mirror. It's okay. So I'm just going to take that, blend that up here, and that. So now what I'm going to do is I have, and for eyeliner today on the top, I do not have a felt tip liner, but I'm going to be using my Beauty Bakerie Liquid Lip Whip in the shade Dare to Eclair. Now, this is very drying on the lips. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful black with some sparkles, but what I'm going to do, because I can't wear it on the lips, it's just too drying for me and my taste anymore, is I'm just going to take some out and put it on my hand here. And I have this eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to go and create a little bit of a wing and line my top lash line with the lipstick. And you can do this with any liquid lipstick that is eye safe. Oh, look at that. I just smeared it all over my lid. That's okay. You know what? I'll clean it up here in just a moment. Accidents happen, right? I'm not perfect. All right, so I'm just going to drag out there a little bit. Oh my goodness. There we go. Excuse you, Fitbit. I will move when I'm ready. Oh my goodness. Why is this a mess? All right. I can save this. All right. So I'm going to fix this. I'm going to do my other eye and I'll be right back. Okay. I went ahead and mostly finished. I managed to sort of make my other eye even. I cleaned up this eyeliner disaster accident over here and went ahead and put on my lipstick and eyelashes, mascara. For mascara, I used my Pat McGrath FetishEyes mascara. I really love this. It's about done. I think this might have been my last application of it. You can see down here it's starting to get a little bit clumpy, and I'm not a fan of the clumpy on me, but I really do like this mascara. I think it's a really great formula. So down the line when I'm ready to repurchase, I will definitely have that on my list. I also went ahead and for my lips, I have a little bit of a combo going using Purple Rain by the Lip Bar. Take a look at this beautiful packaging. I bought this over the summer and I could only find it in one place at one Target near me, but it looks like they're expanding into Walmart and different products as well. So this packaging is just stunning. It's what I have is that lighter purple in the middle of my lips. And for the rest of my lips, I have this mini, teeny tiny Fenty Mattemoiselle in the shade Griselda, which is this lovely berry color, deep plum berry, and they just blended beautifully on my lips and I like them. For my lashes, I have a pair of colored Raine eyelashes in the style CR15, and they are kind of just I don't know, just a false lash. I can't really describe them. I'm not good at describing lashes. I'm learning. Oh, I forgot my highlight. So for my highlight today, I'm going to be using the Colored Raine Cutie Pie, or the Colored Raine, this is a long name, Focal Point Glow Lighter in the shade Cutie Pie. It is this beautiful peachy pink, and I've already applied setting powder to my face, and sorry about the lighting. The sun's going down. It's late in the afternoon. I'm doing my best here. So I'm just going to take that on. Just a little bit for some depth. And then I have the Beauty Bakerie. This is the Sweet Grace, no. It's the Grace setting spray, and I'm just going to, all right, let's see if this is gonna work. Oh, that is something. Whew. I forgot to mention earlier that the setting powder does not have a smell to it. There's no fragrance that I could detect. The translucent oatmeal, or oat, excuse me, the shade is oat. It's translucent setting powder. This definitely has a sweet smell to it, but not like, I can't really describe the sweetness. It's not like an overly sugary sweet, but it's not like a baby powder sweet. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. So let me see. I think I'm just about finished. I am going to grab my brush and just tap over this a little bit so that I don't look like I'm wearing too much of a mask. So this is the final look. I liked all of the products that I've used. I am really excited to have a new setting spray in my collection, though I haven't formed an opinion on it yet. I am about out of my Urban Decay All-Nighter in the big bottle, as well as finishing up a small e.l.f. setting spray last month, so that's a good replacement. The Mented bronzer, again, it's a little bit too warm for me right now, but maybe in the summertime it'll look really lovely. The highlighters, I wish I could get that shine for you. It's so pretty. It's just a really pretty glow. I have Lavender Dreams that I have used in another video before. I love it. It's so pretty, very pigmented, very shiny. Here, let me swatch it on my hand for you. There's really nothing else, I don't think, other than the Uoma Beauty products that I wanted to try, that I'll just kind of wait for. There we can kind of see some of that peachy pink shift that's on my face. But it's such a really pretty highlighter. I really love the highlight formula there. And if you are looking for a new highlighter now that Becca is going out of business, I suggest Colored Raine because they're beautiful highlighters and they have a lot of selection as well. So what do you think? Would you be interested in seeing a get ready, or not a get ready with me, but a palette bingo using my Juvia's Place? I have 2 Colored Raine palettes. I have the, that might be fun. I have the Vivid Pigments, and I have a small little of the Lovelies palette. The only thing that I really didn't use from today are my Pat McGrath Star Wars palettes, which I have already used in a couple of videos, so they will probably pop up after the end if you stay to the end. So that's everything for this video. I'm excited to have some new products in my collection. I'm excited to have some new brands in my collection and keeping an eye on those brands for future products. So thank you so much for being here today. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing if you're not already, and thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed already. You mean the world to me. You mean the world to me just watching this, being here with me today, and spending some of your valuable time with me. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.